Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here, welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. And finally, you guys have been asking for this one since I of course had the opportunity to get both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. A lot of you guys wanted to see what it was like to play the game on those consoles and most importantly, how fast it was to load, that kind of thing. So what I thought I'd do this video is cut together a few samples. Since I play predominantly on PlayStation, to keep this consistent, what I've basically done is restarted the game on all three platforms, on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I don't have the Xbox One to test this out on, so just those three consoles, but that way you can compare last generation using the PS4 and then the current generation. A couple things worth noting, I also ran a couple of speed tests and boot tests. What I did was I started the game from their respective dashboards. I physically closed the game so that it wasn't running in like a minimized state. I then launched the game and timed it to get to the title screen, and you'll see that for the PlayStation 5 it took around 30-31 seconds till the title screen shows up from initial boot. The PlayStation 4 took around 40 to 41 seconds. It is important to note I have an SSD installed in my PS4, so this is not the regular PS4 Pro, mine is a PS4 Pro with an SSD in, so there is still a 10-second difference. Meanwhile, the Xbox Series X did it from boot to title screen in 20 to 21 seconds. Now, following on from there, what I then did is as quickly as possible, like literally spamming X so there was like no downtime, I went from title screen to character select to launching into Astera. And then if you add on to the existing times, the PlayStation 5 goes from dashboard to title screen to in Astera in 1 minute and 2 seconds. The PS4 Pro with the SSD in took 1 minute and 13 seconds. Meanwhile, Xbox Series X took just 38 seconds. That is again adding on to the previous time, so that is from booting from the dashboard, loading to title screen, loading the character, all the way into the actual playable Astera. On top of that, I did one final test whereby I picked up a quest, and I would then, from the finish button, where you press that and it begins loading the quest, where you can then press either the touchpad or the menu button on Xbox to bring up the depart screen and then load from that point into boots on the ground in the quest. For PS5, that took 29 seconds. For PS4 Pro with the SSD in, it took 35 seconds. And for Xbox Series X, I actually messed this one up. I forgot for this one to adjust the player counter down to 1 so that I didn't have to press an additional button. But even pressing an additional button, it did it in just 18 seconds. So the Xbox Series X is an incredibly quick console when it comes to load times, boot times, stuff like that. However, on top of that, the other thing worth noting, and one of the most exciting things about these new systems, is that you can now play on resolution mode and still get 60 FPS at 4K. If you play on PS4 Pro, you'll know that a lot of us, we tend to kind of prioritize the frame rate mode so we can get the best frames possible, and that therefore means you get a slight drop in visuals. The game still looks fantastic, let's be honest, but on the next generation systems, you can then switch over to resolution mode and still get a crisp 60 FPS for pretty much all the time, and that is also playing on 4K. This entire video is recorded in 4K, so if you guys want to check it out, then you can do so, but those are a few things from my initial findings. So I'm going to leave you guys with a few samples, kind of just me running through the ancient forest, showing you kind of like consoles sort of side by side and switching between them so you can see them. Hopefully this gives you at least kind of a picture as to how it feels, how it runs, but that should hopefully answer some of the questions you guys have been giving me. Anyway, for the time being, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and of course, be sure to keep it locked because we've got plenty more stuff coming for the next generation consoles, and of course, as always, plenty more Monster Hunter stuff as and when the news drops. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, you can join the HyperX Gaming Discord. We've got an awesome community over there with so many different channels for you to chat loads of different topics and different games. I'm in there, the team's in there if you guys want to chat with us, find people to play with. It's just in general a great place to be. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads.